Have you walked into a grocery store this month and felt your stomach drop at the produce aisle? $6 for a small bag of lemons? $8 for a pint of blueberries? Avocados creeping toward $3 each. And here's the hard truth, nobody in Washington is going to fix for you. Those prices are not going back down. But while most people are clipping coupons and switching to store brands, millions of quiet, smart Americans have stopped fighting the grocery store altogether. They are growing their own fruit. Not on a farm, not in a giant backyard garden, on porches, on balconies, on concrete driveways, in pots. Today I am going to show you 13 fruit trees that thrive in containers, save you hundreds of dollars every single year, and need almost nothing from you to keep producing. Stay with me, because tree number 4 on this list is one your local nursery genuinely hopes you never find out about. They make more money when you fail with it. I am going to show you exactly how to win. Let's count down. Number 13, the pomegranate. We start with a tree that looks like it belongs in a painting. Glossy green leaves, bright orange-red flowers in spring, and fruit that hangs like ornaments by late summer. The pomegranate. Ask your nursery for a wonderful or a Russian 26. Both stay manageable in a pot and both produce heavily. You want a 15-gallon container minimum with drainage holes the size of a quarter. This tree is happy outdoors in zones 7 through 11. If you live colder than that, wheel it into a garage or sunroom for the winter and it will sleep through the cold without complaint. A healthy potted pomegranate gives you 20 to 30 fruits a season once it settles in. At grocery store prices of around $3 per pomegranate, that is $60 to $90 from one pot on your patio. And here's the insider piece most people never hear. In the last 3 weeks before harvest, cut your watering in half. The tree gets stressed, pulls sugar into the fruit, and the result is a pomegranate so sweet it ruins the store-bought version for you forever. Number 12. The figs are older than written history. They were one of the first fruits ever cultivated, and they have been growing in clay pots around the Mediterranean for thousands of years. They were practically designed for container life. Look for a brown turkey or a celeste. Both are forgiving, both are productive, and both stay small. A 15 to 20-gallon pot is the sweet spot. They handle zones 7 through 10 outside, and below that, the same garage trick works fine. Figs go dormant and lose their leaves anyway, so a dark cold space is exactly what they want. A mature potted fig will give you 50 to 100 figs across 2 harvests in a single year. Fresh figs at the grocery store, when you can even find them, run $8 to $10 for a tiny clamshell of 6. Do that math. You are looking at well over $100 of fruit from one tree. The insider tip on figs, do not overwater them. A fig that thinks it lives in a slightly dry, slightly poor patch of Italian hillside will give you sweeter fruit than one you pamper. Stress is the secret ingredient. While we are here, drop a comment and tell me a plant you have killed in the past. Be honest, we have all done it. I want to see I am not alone. Number 11, the dwarf peach. Now picture this. It is late June. You walk out onto your porch in your slippers with a coffee in your hand, you reach up and you pull a sun-warm peach off a tree the size of a small bush. The juice runs down your wrist before you make it back inside. Ask for a Bonanza or a Pix Z. These are true genetic dwarfs. They top out around 5 or 6 feet tall, perfect for a pot. Use a 15-gallon container. They thrive in zones 5 through 9, which covers most of the country. Here's what surprises people. One healthy dwarf peach gives you 40 to 50 peaches a year. At $2 per peach in the store, that is $100 from one pot. And the flavor of a tree-ripened peach is something the grocery store cannot sell you at any price because they have to pick them hard and green to ship them. The insider move. When the tree sets fruit in spring, it will try to grow way too many. Pinch off the smallest ones until each peach has a fist-sized space around it. The tree will pour all its energy into the survivors, and you will get bigger, sweeter fruit instead of 50 marbles. Number 10. The blueberry bush blueberries are technically a shrub, but they earn a spot on this list because they outproduce most trees per square foot, and the grocery store charges criminal prices for them. You want 2 varieties side by side for cross-pollination. A sunshine blue paired with a pink lemonade works beautifully, and both stay compact in a 10-gallon pot. They need acidic soil, and this is where most people fail. Standard potting mix is too neutral. Buy a bag specifically labeled for azaleas or rhododendrons, and your blueberries will thrive in zones 5 through 10. 2 healthy potted blueberry bushes give you 6 to 8 pounds of fruit per season. Blueberries are running $7 to $8 a pound right now. That is $50 or more every summer from 2 pots that take up less space than a kitchen chair. The trick almost nobody tells you. Blueberries hate hard tap water. If your water is alkaline, the leaves turn yellow and the plant sulks. Once a month, water them with a gallon of water mixed with 2 tablespoons of vinegar. They will reward you. Quick question for the comments. How much did you spend on blueberries the last time you bought them? I want to see the damage. Number 9. The dwarf cherries used to be a luxury. They still are at the grocery store, where a single pound costs you $8 or $9 in season and 12 out of season. On your porch, they cost you nothing. Ask for a compact Stella or a Romeo. The Stella is self-pollinating, which means one tree gives you fruit. You do not need a partner tree. Use a 20-gallon pot. They handle zones 4 through 8 outdoors, and they actually need a cold winter to fruit properly, so most of the country is perfect. A mature dwarf cherry produces 15 to 20 pounds of cherries in a good year. Run those numbers and you are looking at over $100 in cherries every summer, off one tree on your patio. The insider tip is simple, but it changes everything. Birds will steal every cherry you grow if you let them. The day the cherries start to blush pink, drape a piece of bird netting over the tree. In a pot, it takes 30 seconds. In a yard tree, it is a nightmare. This is one of the quiet advantages of growing in containers nobody talks about. Pest control becomes effortless. Number 8. The Meyer lemon. If you only ever grow one fruit tree in your life, make it a Meyer lemon. I am going to say it plainly. There is no plant on this list that gives back more for less work. Ask for an improved Meyer. Use a 15 to 20 gallon pot. It thrives outdoors year-round in zones 9 through 11, and for the rest of us, and this is most of us, it lives outside from spring to fall and comes inside next to a sunny window for the winter. That is its only requirement. A mature Meyer lemon tree in a pot gives you 50 to 100 lemons a year. 100 lemons. At $6 a bag of 4 or 5 at the grocery store, you are looking at well over $150 in lemons every single year from one tree. But here's what I really want you to understand. When a Meyer lemon blooms, the entire room fills with a perfume so beautiful it does not feel real. People pay good money for candles trying to fake that smell. You get it free, twice a year, in your living room. The insider tip: Meyer lemons are heavy feeders. Use a citrus-specific fertilizer once a month during the growing season and stop completely in winter when the tree is resting. Overfeeding a sleeping tree is one of the fastest ways to kill it. That is 6 trees down, 7 to go. And if you are still with me, I want to ask you something directly. If this video is helping you, if you are starting to picture which of these trees might sit on your own porch, do me one small favor. Hit that subscribe button right now before you forget. This channel is run by one person with no sponsors, no affiliate links, and no nonsense. The only way it grows is regular folks like you clicking subscribe. That is it. That is the whole business model. When you come back from clicking, the next 7 trees are where it gets really good. Tree number 4 is the one your local nursery does not want you to figure out. And tree number 1 is going to surprise you in a way you are not expecting. Let's keep going. Number 7, the kumquat. If you have never bitten into a kumquat straight off the tree, you are missing one of the strangest, most delightful experiences in the fruit world. The skin is sweet, the inside is sour. You eat the whole thing, peel and all, and your mouth does not know what to do with itself. Ask your nursery for a nagami or a mewa. The nagami is more tart, the mewa is sweeter. Pick based on what your taste buds want. Use a 15-gallon pot. Outdoors in zones 9 through 11, and like the Meyer lemon, it comes inside for winter everywhere else. Here's what makes the kumquat special on this list. It produces hundreds of fruits per season, not dozens. Hundreds. 300 to 500 small fruits on a healthy, mature tree. They preserve beautifully. They candy beautifully. They freeze beautifully. One tree can supply a family for a year. At grocery store prices, when you can even find them, kumquats run $6 to $8 a pint. 300 kumquats off your patio is easily $150 of fruit. The insider piece: kumquats love being slightly root-bound. Do not rush to repot. A tight pot stresses the tree just enough to push it into heavier flowering and fruiting. Number 6, the columnar apple. This one is going to surprise you. Picture an apple tree that grows straight up like a flagpole. No spreading branches, no giant canopy. Just a single vertical column, 8 feet tall and 12 inches wide. Hanging with apples from top to bottom. Ask for a North Pole, a Golden Sentinel, or a Scarlet Sentinel. Plant 2 different varieties side by side for pollination. Use a 15-gallon pot for each. They handle zones 4 through 8, which is most of the country. 2 columnar apples in pots take up the floor space of a small chair, and they produce 15 to 25 pounds of apples per tree per year. That is 40 to 50 pounds of apples. Hundreds of dollars of fruit, off 2 skinny columns on your porch. The insider tip: columnar apples need their fruit thinned even more aggressively than dwarf peaches. When the tree sets fruit in late spring, walk down the column and pinch off every other baby apple. The ones you leave behind will grow to full grocery store size instead of staying small. Quick check-in. Drop the state you are watching from in the comments. I want to build a map of this community in my head. California, Maine, Texas, Wisconsin, wherever you are. Tell me. Number 5. The dwarf mulberry. The mulberry is the forgotten fruit of America. 100 years ago, every farm had one. Today, most people have never tasted one fresh because mulberries are too soft and too perishable to ship. The grocery store cannot sell them at any price. The only way to eat a fresh mulberry is to grow one. Ask for a dwarf ever-bearing. It tops out at around 6 feet and is genuinely happy in a 15-gallon pot. It handles zones 5 through 10. Here is what makes the mulberry magical. It does not give you one big harvest. It gives you fruit every single day for 2 to 3 months straight. A handful here, a handful there, all summer long. A mature dwarf mulberry produces 10 to 15 pounds of fruit across that long window. You will eat them by the bowl with cream. You will bake them into pies. You will freeze bags for winter smoothies. The insider tip: mulberries stain everything. Do not put the pot on a white concrete patio you care about. Set it on grass, gravel, or a darker surface and you will save yourself a headache. Number 4. The dwarf avocado. Here it is, the tree I told you about at the very beginning, the one your local nursery does not particularly want you to succeed with. Here's the quiet truth of the nursery business. Avocado trees sell well, fail often, and customers come back to buy another one. Most home growers kill 3 avocado trees before they kill a 4th. And nobody at the nursery is going to slow down and explain why. I am going to explain why right now. Ask for a Wurtz, sometimes called a little cato. This is the only true dwarf avocado, and it is self-pollinating, which means one tree gives you fruit. Use a 20 to 25-gallon pot. Zones 9 through 11 outdoors, and in colder zones it lives inside for winter. The tree is small enough to make that work. The 2 reasons people fail with avocados in pots are simple. First, they overwater them. Avocados want to dry out almost completely between waterings. Soggy roots equal a dead tree. Second, they panic when leaves drop in winter and start fertilizing a stressed plant, which finishes off what the overwatering started. Get those 2 things right, and a Wurtz produces 50 to 100 avocados per year once it matures. At $3 per avocado, that is $150 to $300 of fruit every year for 20 years or more. Do that math across the lifetime of the tree, and one $25 sapling becomes $2,400 to $4,800 of avocados. I know what you are thinking. The tree takes 3 to 4 years to start producing. That is the catch. That is the part that makes most people give up. But hear me out. You are going to be buying avocados anyway. For the next 4 years, you are going to spend $3 at a time, 3 or 4 times a month, on the same fruit. By the end of that 4 years, your tree starts paying you, and it keeps paying you for the next 2 decades. That is not a tree. That is an investment you can sit next to with your morning coffee. Quick one for the comments. Avocado toast or guacamole? Pick a side. Number 3. The ever-bearing strawberry tower. I am going to be honest with you. A strawberry is not a tree. I know that. You know that. But I am putting strawberries on this list anyway, and I am going to defend it in 2 sentences. A vertical strawberry tower in a single 20-gallon pot produces berries every single day from late spring until first frost. No tree on this list gives you that. Ask for an Albion or a Seascape. Both are ever-bearing, which means they fruit continuously instead of in one big rush. Stack them in a tower planter, which lets you grow 15 to 20 plants in the footprint of one pot. They handle zones 4 through 9. 20 plants in a tower will give you a quart of strawberries a week all summer. At grocery store prices of $5 to $7 a pint, that is over $200 of berries across one season. And the flavor of a sun-warmed strawberry off your own porch is something you have probably forgotten exists. The insider tip: pinch off the runners. Ever-bearing strawberries try to spread instead of fruit. When you see a long, thin shoot snaking out of the plant, snip it. The plant redirects all that energy back into berries. Number 2. The dwarf banana, yes, a banana tree. On your porch. In Ohio, in Pennsylvania, in Oregon, I am serious. Ask for a dwarf Cavendish or a truly tiny. Use a 15-gallon pot. Outdoors in zones 9 through 11 and inside next to a south-facing window for everyone else. The tree itself is gorgeous. Huge tropical leaves that make your living room look like a vacation. A mature dwarf banana produces a single bunch of 50 to 100 bananas per cycle, and a healthy plant will give you a bunch every 12 to 18 months. The bananas are smaller and sweeter than what the store sells you, and they ripen on the plant, something a grocery store banana, picked green and gassed in a warehouse, can never do. The insider tip: Bananas are heavy drinkers and heavy eaters. Water deeply, fertilize during the growing months, and the plant will reward you with fruit and with pure tropical drama in a corner of your home. Number 1. The dwarf olive. We end on something different. The olive tree is not the highest producing tree on this list. It is not the fastest to fruit. The savings are real, but they are not the headline. I put it at number 1 for another reason entirely. Ask for an arbequina or a little ollie. Use a 20-gallon pot. Zones 8 through 11 outdoors, indoors near a sunny window everywhere else. An olive tree lives for centuries. There are olive trees in Italy and Greece that were planted before the United States existed and are still producing fruit today. The little tree you put on your porch this spring is not just yours. It is something you can pass down. The silvery foliage is beautiful in every season. The tree never goes ugly. It tolerates drought. It produces a small handful of olives you can cure yourself, but more than that, it transforms a concrete patio into something that looks like a Tuscan hillside. This is the tree you grow for your grandchildren. This is the tree that outlives you. That is why it is number 1. The bonus: 3 mistakes that kill container fruit trees. Before we close this out, I promised you a bonus. And this is the part of the video that will save you more money than any single tree on the list, because the trees only pay you back if they stay alive. I have watched good people spend $300 at a nursery, drag everything home, plant it with love, and kill every single tree in one summer. Not because they were lazy, not because they were careless, because nobody told them 3 small things that change everything. Here they are. Mistake number 1, the black plastic pot. Walk into any garden center in America, and what do you see? Black plastic pots. Stacks of them. Rows of them. Cheap, lightweight, and absolutely deadly to a fruit tree in summer. Black plastic absorbs heat. On a 90-degree day, the inside of a black pot sitting in direct sun can hit 140 degrees. Roots cook at 120. By July, the tree above the soil still looks fine, but the roots underneath are dying. By August, the leaves yellow. By September, the tree is gone and you are standing there wondering what you did wrong. You did nothing wrong. The pot killed your tree. The fix is simple. Switch to a light-colored pot. Terracotta, glazed ceramic in cream or pale blue, or one of the fabric grow bags that have become popular in the last few years. Fabric pots are my personal favorite for fruit trees because they let air reach the roots, they prevent root circling, and they breathe in the heat instead of trapping it. If you already have black plastic pots and cannot replace them, do this instead. Wrap the outside of the pot in a piece of light-colored cloth, or set the black pot inside a larger decorative pot with a few inches of space between them. That air gap alone drops the soil temperature by 15 to 20 degrees on a hot day. This one change saves more container fruit trees than any other piece of advice I can give you. Mistake number 2. Tap water salt buildup. Here's a slow killer that almost nobody sees coming. Every time you water your potted tree with tap water, you are leaving behind a tiny amount of dissolved minerals and salts. In a garden, those minerals wash away into the surrounding soil and disappear. In a pot, they have nowhere to go. They build up, month after month, year after year. Eventually, the soil in your pot reaches a point where the tree cannot pull water out of it properly, even though the soil is wet. The leaves start to yellow at the edges. The new growth comes in stunted. You assume the tree is hungry, so you fertilize. Fertilizer is also salt. The problem gets worse. The tree dies, and you swear you did everything right. The fix takes 10 minutes, every 4 to 6 months. It is called flushing. You take the pot, set it somewhere with good drainage, outside on grass, works perfect, and you run water through the pot slowly and steadily for a full 10 to 15 minutes. Use a hose on a low setting. The goal is to push 3 or 4 pot volumes of clean water through the soil and out the drainage holes, carrying all that built-up salt with it. Do this twice a year and you reset the soil to healthy. Skip it, and you are slowly poisoning the tree that is supposed to feed your family. Mistake number 3. Feeding a sick tree. This is the mistake that comes from a good place. You love your tree. You see it struggling. You want to help. So you reach for the fertilizer. Stop. A tree that is stressed, sick, or dormant cannot use fertilizer. The roots are not actively pulling nutrients, so the fertilizer just sits in the soil as more salt. Going right back to mistake number 2, and finishes off a tree that might have recovered on its own. The rule is simple, and I want you to write this one down. You only fertilize a tree that is actively growing and visibly healthy. New leaves coming in, new green growth at the tips, fresh flowers. That is a tree asking for food. A tree with yellow leaves, drooping branches, dropped fruit, or no new growth is a tree asking for a doctor, not a meal. Pull back the watering. Move the pot to dappled shade for a week. Flush the soil if it has been a while. Let the tree breathe. 9 times out of 10, it recovers on its own. Save the fertilizer for when the tree is strong. That is when it pays off. If you have stayed with me all the way to this point, through 13 trees and 3 rescue tips, I want to say something to you directly. Thank you. You are the kind of person this channel exists for. You are not looking for a quick scroll, a flashy hook, and a 30-second tip. You sat through almost an hour of real information because you actually want to do this. You actually want to put a tree on your porch this spring and start growing something. That is rare, and I do not take it for granted. Let me tell you what this channel is and what it is not. This channel has no sponsors. Nobody pays me to recommend a product. When I tell you to ask for a Wurtz avocado or a brown turkey fig, it is because that variety actually works in a pot, not because some company sent me a check. When I tell you to use fabric pots, no fabric pot company has ever heard of me. This channel has no affiliate links in the description. I am not making a commission off a single thing I recommended today. If you click the description right now, you will find no Amazon links, no nursery codes, no discount programs, nothing. This channel is run by one person, me. There is no team. There is no studio. There is no marketing department deciding what topics get attention. Every video is a real conversation between me and you, the way a neighbor might lean over a fence and tell you what works. And this channel is built specifically for older Americans who are tired of paying grocery store prices for food they could grow themselves. People who have a porch, a balcony, a small patio, or a sunny corner of a yard. People who do not need fancy. People who need useful. If that is you, if you saw yourself anywhere in this video, then I am asking you for 3 small things before you go. First, hit the subscribe button right now before you close this video. I know I asked earlier, but I am asking again because the algorithm of this platform genuinely punishes small channels, and the only thing that pushes back against that is real subscribers. People who chose to be here. If you have learned something today, that one click costs you nothing and it keeps videos like this one being made. Second, drop a comment and tell me which tree you are starting with. Not which trees you might consider. Which one you are actually going to go buy. Naming it out loud, in writing, in front of other people, is the single biggest predictor of whether you will actually do it. The brain treats a public commitment differently than a private thought. So tell me, pomegranate, Meyer lemon, the avocado, the long game, the olive for your grandchildren? Pick one and write it down. Third, in that same comment, tell me what state you are in. I asked earlier and some of you did, and I want everyone to do it. I am building a real community map in my head, and I want to see this thing spread. I want to see California and Texas and Florida and Maine and Wisconsin and Oregon all in the comments. I want you to scroll the replies and find someone in your state, growing the same tree, learning together. That is how a channel turns into a community. That is how a community turns into a movement of people who quietly stopped paying grocery store prices and started growing their own food. Here's what I want you to do when this video ends. Get up out of your chair, put on your shoes, drive to your local nursery this weekend, or open a tab and order 1 tree online. Buy 1 container, a fabric pot, a terracotta pot, a glazed ceramic pot in any light color you like. Buy 1 bag of good potting soil, citrus mix if you are starting with a Meyer lemon, azalea mix if you are starting with blueberries, regular potting mix for almost everything else. That is your shopping list. 1 tree, 1 pot, 1 bag of soil, under $100 for most of these. Bring it home, put it on your porch, water it, watch it. In 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that tree will be paying you back in fruit you cannot buy at any grocery store at any price. And the day you walk outside in your slippers with your coffee in your hand and you pull a sun-warm peach off your own tree, you will remember this video. You will remember sitting here deciding to start. Go do it. I will see you in the next one.